This is the Bible edition of history repeating itself. So as we go through the Bible and realize that we truly are reaching the end times, I'm starting to realize that everything that has already happened at the beginning of the Bible is just really happening all over again. And here are a few examples of that. The worship of idols. And though we currently are worshiping many idols in this world, I'm not talking like figuratively, like money and things like that. I mean like actual idols. You ever felt it odd that in Bowling Green Park in New York City, a few blocks from Times Square, there stands a giant golden calf? I mean, this big old golden bull stands at 11 feet tall, over 16 feet long, and over 7 tons. I feel like I've seen this before. And I know some may say that, oh no, it just represents a bullish market. Well, what does that bullish market represent? You see, the artist that designed the bull placed it there in 1987 after the stock market crash. It was placed there as a sign of strength, wealth, and prosperity. The problem is that calf represents greed, where the top 10% of this nation own 80% of all of its wealth. For Jesus says in Luke 12:15, watch out and be on your guard against all kinds of greed, for life does not consist in abundance of possessions. And I don't know about you, some call it an iconic sight. I call it an idol. Because the second the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, they decided, as Moses was on Mount Sinai, to make a golden calf and worship it. Side note, the Israelites had just gotten a whole bunch of money in cash as they had taken all of it from the Egyptians as they were leaving. Again, you call it icon, I call it idol. And we got to be careful because the devil is sneaky. Here's more. False prophets. Jeremiah 23:16, Old Testament, warns us of how the people were led astray by false prophets. And I cannot turn on the TV today and not hear some type of false prophet preaching some type of gospel that is not the real Bible gospel. The truth about prosperity. And if you just donate this, we'll pray for this and you can have this and it's all good and Jesus is love and we can be whatever we want. It's all false teaching. Rebellion. The people of the Old Testament are continuously rebelling against God. An example of this is Numbers 14:2-4. God literally just opened up the Red Sea for them to walk through on dry ground. They get to the other side, they're worshiping golden calves, and then they start to rebel and say, why did God bring us out here in the wilderness to die? And that rebellion has continued into modern day times with this idea of the separation of church and state. And I'm not saying force religion upon people, but I sure do feel like every day I turn on the TV in my life, sin is forced upon me. Everyone's corrupt leaders like in Isaiah 23, sounds a lot like today. The rejecting of God's command, the promotion of sex, drugs, alcohol, same-sex marriage, abortion, all of these sinful things are truly the rejection of God's command. And the crazy thing, 1 Corinthians 6:9 literally says, these people, the ones I just named, all those sins, will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. So I say all of this to say, be wary, be careful of the tricks and traits and tools of the devil, because he is out to seek and destroy. Pay attention to your surroundings, because sometimes what we call icons are idols. You guys stay blessed. This is Eric Scott with the Lawrence Faith Podcast. I love each and every one of you. Thank you.